Hi there. I have a piece of Schubert Chokecherry. Now I must be getting a little better at identifying woods because I took one look at this and I thought, Schubert Chokecherry. Oh yeah. Anyway, I have taken my beam compass and drawn this to just round these off a little bit. I don't mind turning square-ended pieces, but there's some real bad checking on the end here, so I thought I might as well round that off a little bit. I'm going to use the center to drill a hole for my woodworm screw, mount it on the lathe after I cut these out on the bandsaw, and I hope you'll stick around and join me there. I found that spinning this at 500 RPM made the entire lathe shake. As you can imagine, it's way off balance considering how thin it is on this end and how thick on this end. So I turned the speed up to 650 RPM and it actually took a lot of that shake out. Still not smooth, but better. Now I'm going to start by creating a 2-inch recess for when I reverse chuck this. And I'm just going to identify the outside of that so that I don't lose track of it when I start turning some of this away. So I'll use my parting tool to do this, and then I'm going to use my 3/8 inch bowl gouge to start shaping this. One thing that's a real good idea is to make sure you keep your fingers on this side of the tool rest. Getting them in here would be a really bad idea. I've raised the speed to 800 RPM. Maybe that'll make it a little smoother turning. I just tried turning this up to 1000 RPM and it did not improve any, but I turned it to 2000 and it took a lot of the shake out of it. Problem is, 2000 RPM with these wings is just a little scary. However, let's see what happens at 2000 RPM. Well, that's definitely a much cleaner cut, so I'll continue at 2000. Getting pretty thin here, so I don't want to get too much off of that end anymore. That is better. Still a lot of sanding needed, but I like that. Hoping to leave some of this natural edge on here too. Now for a flat level surface, I need to take some off of here. It's getting better. I need to take a little more off to make sure it's going to be sitting on this edge as well. Alright, I think that will work. I'm just going to leave this now, clean this up, sand the rest, and then reverse it. I have some bark coming off, so I want to run a bead of CA glue down in behind it, hold it in place, see if it'll stay that way. And I'm using a nitrile glove to make sure I don't stick myself to it. I'll hold it for a few more seconds and we'll see if it's going to work. Alright, that should hold it in place. I'll leave it that for a while. I've sanded everything to 320 grit. Feels pretty nice. Gorgeous grain in here. And now I'm going to reverse it and start turning the other side. Alright, time to see what this is going to turn like. It's 500 RPM. Now I'm going to 1000. Standing well out of the way. Alright, now it's time to see what's going to happen when I put a gouge to this. Alright, I'm going to be turning at 1000 RPM, 3/8 inch bowl gouge, freshly sharpened. This is not a time when something is this thin to be attacking it with a dull tool. I'm trying to take extremely thin cuts. This is not a time for hogging off a lot of material. I'm also trying to make sure that this chuck stays good and tight. Getting pretty thin on this end. So I think I'm just going to finish this off with sanding now, and then I'll do the bowl after I sand this. I'm going to use the same rotary sanding technique that I used on the other side up to here. Just going to make a little depression here. Alright, after I sand this, I'll figure out the bowl. Everything is sanded out here now on the wings to 320 grit. I usually sand to 400 grit, but 320 is the finest I had for this little sanding pad. Now this is not perfectly balanced. This end is 3/32 of an inch thick. This end is almost 3/16. But I'm going to live with that, so I hope you can too. Now I'm going to start turning this. I've re-honed my 3/8 inch bowl gouge, and I'm going to be turning it at 1000 RPM. I guess I better set the height of this just a little bit different. One more check on the tightness of the chuck. Alright, it's not perfect, it's chipping out in there, but I'm going to just go from sandpaper from here. Alright, looking real good except on this one side. For some reason it really wants to chip out. So I'm just going to sand the rest of this, and then I'll be back. Well, that's the finished product, and I'm quite pleased with it. Now, if you happen to be one of those sharp-eyed viewers, you might have noticed that a fairly large piece of bark had flown off here. I didn't notice it at first, and I actually managed to find it among the shavings on the floor, so that was unexpected. There are a couple of small pieces missing on the edge, but still, the natural edge looks real good. I just gave this a bath in mineral oil. I'm very pleased with it. It's got some beautiful figure in it. I think it's a keeper. Well, thank you for stopping into my shop today. I hope you had a good time watching what I was doing, as good as the time I was having doing it. I hope you'll come back next time. If you haven't subscribed, please do. Share this with friends if you like. And click the like button if you like, so I know I'm doing something right. So between now and next time, have a great day in your shop, and please be safe. Take care now.